Hi everybody, this is Beth McCullough. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and I blog at stampingmom.com. I'm here every Wednesday with my sweet husband Steve.
Hi everybody.
And we were on last night for the first time. We did a Tuesday night broadcast.
And it seemed to almost work.
Yeah. We're using StreamYard, so now you can see us. Before you could only see my hands. But that might be a problem too. I'm wondering if I can just wear yoga pants and my gardening clothes when I'm on live.
But, you know, as long as you have a nice top on, that's all that really matters.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So Steve wore a Hawaiian shirt. Is that a preview for what you're making today?
It's a clue. It's a clue about I've accepted the challenge. Okay. I am not a card maker. I don't know what I'm doing. All I do is give Beth advice about what she's doing because that's so much easier, right? So, but today I actually tried to design a card, and we will have to see what you think. Let's just put it that way.
So your number one fans, Bev, Karen, and Barb are all on. Hi, you guys. Thanks for coming back on this morning.
I think they'll give me a little grace.
Yes.
So that's good.
Steve wants some grace. So I usually do easy fun folds. Steve did a totally original. I gave him a piece of paper that was 5.5 by 8.5, and he created a fun fold. So do you want to get started and show him what to do?
Yeah, well, Preface, Beth has a wonderful friend in her Bible Study Fellowship group that is moving to Hawaii.
Tomorrow.
So we thought I would make a card that Beth could, or we both, could send to her as a farewell, but also to get her in the mood to be a Hawaiian citizen.
Well, it maybe will be one of her first cards that shows up in Hawaii when they get there. So it's her and her 3 kids going. So we've been praying for them that everything goes well. Hello, Sharon from British Columbia. I'm glad you're on. Hi, Marceline.
So things are a little bit different with this card. One of the things to know is that I'm not using the typical size of cardstock to get started with.
Right.
Instead of 8.5 by 5.5, I'm using 8 inches by 5.5, and you'll understand why in just a minute. Here's my template.
Good job, honey, having a template.
You can see.
I think every fun fold needs a template.
The most important thing for you to know is I did not do all this on my own.
You did. I didn't come up with this.
I had the concept. Okay, so the concept is mine. Execution, I'm going to need some help, and she's going to give it to me. And she helped me make the template, too. So it's 8 inches wide, and it's 5.5, which is normal size. Okay? So the first thing that we're going to do, and here's how the fun fold works. You fold it this way, and then you fold it this way, and you have the beginning of your card. Okay? Then there's more to do, but that's kind of how you start it folding. Okay? So we'll get started. The first thing we need is a piece of paper this size, and what we're going to do, the first mark we're going to make is going to be at 2.5. So I'll get my ruler, and I'm going to make a mark on the top at 2.5. And I'm going to use a pencil to do that, if I can find my pencil, so that we can erase it after we get done. So, and as Beth and I figured out, you have to be really precise on this one. It is not very forgiving, so you need to know what you're doing and be as precise as you can. So the point is that we're going to use scoring to do this. If I can find the scoring table.
Oh, it's right here.
Thank you. And so what we're going to do, Beth taught me how to do this. You actually, let's get it so people can see it. You're actually, make sure you've got the right blade. She told me that. And you're going to go down to the bottom corner and put the bottom quarter in the groove, and you're going to put that notch, or that indicator.
The one that you made at 2.5 inches?
Right, that one.
Bev shared the video. Kay shared the video.
I am so...
Thanks, everybody, for doing that.
So nervous. Okay.
Are you making a second one? Don't be nervous, honey.
Okay, I just scored, but I also cut. Look at that. I just cut, Beth.
It's okay. You know something? Get a piece of paper up off the top.
And then we do our first fold. Okay?
Wait, I thought you said you cut it.
I did. I cut the very bottom, see?
Well, do you want to start over?
I'm going to start over because we can do that. Watch how fast she does this. This is amazing to me.
Well, on the long side, we're just going to cut it off at 8 inches because it was normally 8.5. I'll cut 2 for you, honey.
Okay, do that.
You don't get nervous. You talk in front of hundreds of people.
I do, but this is different. I mean, I am so out of my league here.
These are our friends. They're not gonna get mad at you.
The other problem is I'm a perfectionist and thinking, you know, this is actually going to be something when I get done, as opposed to...
Of course it's going to be something.
Well, okay, you and all the people that you work with make such beautiful cards, and I don't feel like I am deserving to be on the same
they're not expecting... What?
We're not all the way over.
They're not expecting you to be a professional on your first card. I mean, he's made me cards. He's made me Valentine cards before and things, but Chris is on. Barb shared.
Okay.
Sharon shared.
So I'm at 2.5 again.
Are you making a second one so that someone gets this card if they share it and leave a comment?
Sure, but I won't make it on camera.
Okay, so Steve, Kay says we make boo-boos too.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
No one here is Jesus. We're not perfect, and we don't expect it. Here's what Karen says. We all had to start from the beginning. I'm a perfectionist too, so I totally get you. But when it comes to cards, that has to take a back
Okay, so you can see I scored that line, and now I fold. Okay? And it's not exactly perfect, but you'll get the concept when I'm done.
Do you need the trimmer at all anymore? Do you want me to move it for you?
No, everything's trimmer now. So where's my
I'll
template?
take this. I'll take this from you.
Okay, so then that's the first cut, and the very next thing is we're going to do another fold, and this fold is going to be at 4 and what did we say, Beth?
4 1/4. So I guess you do want the trimmer for that because you were going to use it to fold, right?
Yep. So we're going to go 4 1/4.
Go all the way over to this one. 4 1/4 is right there.
Okay. I see it.
You know, it's funny. Standing here is so much easier. It's like more nervous over there.
She's now found me out. How do you get this thing to go up? Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got it.
So now that's our second fold line. And so we are going to fold again. And you can see what I'm doing. I'm just matching up the bottom as I'm folding. Okay? Now, secret. Before you do anything else, you're going to stamp. So the flower is from...
Your stamp set's right there.
Okay, my stamp set is the Timeless Tropical, because after all, this is Hawaiian, right? So I'm going to ink up my stamp. I'm going to practice.
Yes. Why do we practice?
We practice because we need practice. Okay?
Well,
so
you don't always get enough ink on it at
gotta
first.
go lots of ink, and then we practice stamp, and you gotta push really hard in the middle of this one. And that's the flower.
Yay!
Yay!
So now you're going to put it on your card. So Mary Hazlitt Harris is cheering for you. She says, Happy Wednesday and go Steve. And Bev says, as your experience grows making cards, your perfectionist level will become more tolerant. I agree, Bev. I feel like I'm a recovered perfectionist.
There we go. So the key is you've got that score line right there, and you were trying to center the flower on that score line. Okay? So... Yay, I actually stamped something. I can't believe that I didn't. Good job. And I didn't get ink all over.
And you know, honey, I almost never stamp on camera. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, well, I don't know what I don't know. So, you know, there you go. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to cut along the score line. It seems weird that I'm cutting my flower in half, okay? But I'm about to cut my flower in half. And then I can show you how this works. And what we're going to do is we're going to realize that this is actually 1 3/4 right here. So this is actually going to be a cut, but we're going to start at 1 3/4. And we're going to take our blade up before we put it down. So this is 1 3/4, and I'm doing this wrong. How do I put this in here, Beth?
Okay.
Like this, right?
So you want to cut here?
Right.
Yep.
So 1 inch and 3/4.
Inch and 3/4 would be right there.
Okay, and it should line up with the score line.
And
that's how you know that you're doing it
Can we take a pause here? If you've followed me very long, you know you need a ruler on the arm of your Stampin' Up! Trimmer. It's a 1/4 inch by 11 inches, and it's attached to the underside of the arm with glue dots. And that is how Steve will know where to put the blade down.
Yes, but we also need to know what that measurement is right there.
And are you at the top of the card?
I am at the bottom of the card. Well, no, I'm from the top of the card. From the top of the card
down to there, which I think we decided was 4 1/4. Yep.
4 1/4. So I'm going to set my blade
Yep.
at 4 1/4 before I set it down. I don't even know if I'm on camera right now, Beth.
Yep. You're good.
Okay. So is
4
that
1/4, and then you're going to go all the way to the bottom.
does that look right?
Yep.
I'm
You're doing good, honey.
being a perfectionist again.
Don't be a perfectionist.
Okay.
Big
So now I'm putting it down
examples.
and I'm going to cut. Okay. It worked.
Yay!
Yay. Things are happening here. So, once again, now, here's my card. So, this flap goes on the inside, like this. And this goes over the top. So, your first reveal in the card is, when you open this up, you get to see your flower. Okay? So, that's the first reveal. And do you have a little ink eraser that you use for things?
I do.
Because I didn't wait long enough for my flower to dry before I kept right on going. And I've got a little ink smudge there.
Okay. But isn't a triangle going on there?
Oh, you're right!
Triangle's going
You're
on
right!
there. So
It's getting covered up. This is a very forgiving card because almost everything you do gets covered up. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and start putting things on here. So, Beth, what should I do first? Should I do the triangles first?
Well, I don't know. You were thinking about putting that Coastal Cabana strip on in your pineapple.
Let's do that first. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take, what color is this?
Coastal Cabana.
Okay, so you're going to cut a piece of Coastal Cabana. It's 5 3/8 by 2 3/8. And yes, that is my handwriting, by the way.
Yes.
So I'm going to turn it over so that part's not showing. And we're going to put that guy down right here. And actually what's going to happen now, since I'm showing you this, is my assistant is going to actually do the gluing and putting it on there.
Does it fit? Is it the way we want it to be? It seems a little long.
It seems a little long.
It does seem a little long.
We're going to have to do some MacGyvering because that's what I do. And it seems a little wide too.
You know, it's funny. We had it smaller, and then on the last round, look at this one. This is what we originally had.
But that's still too long.
Okay.
We're going to need to give you some new measurements.
What about this one?
Still too long.
Okay. So our card right here is 5 1/2. So we were going to do 5 3/8. And then this way we were going to do 2 3/8.
So maybe I just cut it wrong when I cut it. That's been known to happen. While she's doing that, I'm going to start to glue my triangles. So the key here is...
It's weird. It really is. It really is that, but it's...
But it's not. But
Okay.
so this one is going to go right here. And so I'm going to go ahead and, while she's recutting for me, I'm going to put some glue down. And it'll be forgiving because it's glue. It'll give me, what do we call that? Wiggle room?
Wiggle room.
So I'm going to try and place it correctly, but then I'm going to wiggle room. How's that looking, Beth?
That looks great, honey.
Okay. So that's the first triangle.
So Diane won the card last night, and she's the one who suggested you come up with the card design. She wants to know if you're mad at her.
I am not mad at you. Why would I be mad? I mean, yes, I'm just nervous as heck. But if this works, I'll have you to thank that you put me up to it.
Coastal Cabana matches your shirt, Steve, Bev says, and Mary is leaving for Maui on Sunday.
Whoa!
That is awesome. How exciting. Maui is so beautiful. And Lisa from Stevens Point is watching. Hi, Lisa. Lisa, I have a share for you that's coming home with Linda Lace on Sunday. So thank you for buying that. Speaking of the shares, these shares are sending you on a trip, honey.
I can't wait to go on a trip. I think going on a trip is a fine idea.
Yeah.
Especially since I haven't gotten to dive for like forever. It would be very good to be able to dive again.
Okay, so do you have your piece on?
Maybe.
Okay.
It doesn't seem to be straight up and down though.
It's okay. It's close enough.
I want it to be better. How do I get it to be better?
Let's see. Oh, it's good. We're going with it.
Okay.
Let's put the pineapple on. Do you want me to put a little glue on the pineapple?
Oh, you know what it is? It's this flap. It's now, because I've cut it, it's being a little wonky on us. That's all that's going on.
Yeah, I think it's good, honey.
Okay, now, I made a mistake because I cut out this pineapple and I didn't think that I was going to have to attach it. And so...
Do you want to place it where you want it to be?
Well, remember, it's just going to be barely tucked underneath there. It's got to be tucked under a bit. We should actually do this one first.
Okay. That one's a little easier. We can be a little more liberal with the glue. Okay, put them both where you want them. Okay, Mary says, this is a very ambitious card, Steve. I'm impressed. He literally took the piece of paper, Mary, and started folding it and cutting it, and then was like, okay, how do we make this?
Okay.
So, I agree. I usually make easier fun folds, but I think you'll like it if you stick around to see the end. I think that you will like it. He's got some triangles in his future.
Well, of
here.
course I do. You know why I have triangles? Because you have taught me stitch triangles are the thing to use. So now I've got another stitch triangle, but this one I had to MacGyver, okay? So you'll notice I wrote on the back, cut off 1/4 of an inch. So where's my triangles? My triangles are here, and I used the stitch triangles. You saw me put one on already. I used the two middle ones, okay? And so this is the big one,
Yep.
and this is the smaller one. But the deal was the smaller one was not small enough, so I actually cut 1/4 inch off of this triangle.
On the long
It
side.
no longer has stitching on the bottom, but that was just a casualty of the card creation process. So
Yeah, he's leaving about an 1/8 of an inch border on everything because that's how it worked out with the triangles.
so this piece will go here.
So, should we interview Steve while
This
he's
is
making
the
card?
outside of the card. This is what the outside of the card looks like. Okay?
It's beautiful, honey.
Do you like that?
I
and
love
then, surprise number 1, you open up, there's a beautiful hibiscus flower
We
from
have a
Hawaii.
hibiscus tree
Yay!
on the deck right now.
So now we have to create surprise number 2. And that is, when you open this card up this way, we're going to have flowers running down this side. Okay? So, now Beth is going to help me put flowers on right here. I cut the flowers out, but they're small, and I have great big fingers. So
I think it's time to ask Steve questions. What do you want to ask Steve? He grew up in Buffalo, Iowa, on the
Iowa.
Mississippi
Did you know there
River.
was a Buffalo, Iowa? It's right on the river west of Davenport. It's the only place in the nation where the Mississippi River runs straight east to west. So I grew up thinking the Mississippi River went from the east coast to the west coast because that's the way the river was flowing in my little town. But growing up in the Mississippi was fun. My misspent youth fishing and going out on boats on the Mississippi and water skiing on the Mississippi.
I was going to say, didn't you leave your hamstring on the
I
Mississippi?
left one hamstring on the Mississippi in the sloughs where we would babysit. Where did that come from? I needed babysat after I blew out my hamstring.
Where do you want these, hon?
You're doing
Just
great, honey.
sprinkle them around.
Sprinkle them around. And you know what? You should put some of your sparklies right in the middle of those guys.
Rhinestones?
What do you call those? Embellishments. Gotta have
Yes.
embellishments, right?
How do you know about embellishments?
You've taught me about embellishments. So these are really fun flowers. They also came out of our stamp set.
The Timeless Tropical.
Timeless Tropical. Let me show you the die.
You should go look. Did they ask any questions? I bet Bev has a question for you.
It came out of these guys. And here is another fun little thing.
Oh, Bev says she loves it. No one wants to ask about you, though.
So, the fun little thing is this guy, right here, this guy, when you use it as, and run it through the Big Shot, or what do we call the Big Shot now?
Stamp and Cut and Emboss
That
Machine.
thing. It's got stars on the underneath when you poke it out. And they're very tiny stars, much too small for my huge hands. So we didn't use them for anything, but you could. You should save them because they're really kind of cool.
Yeah, we tried to put the stars back in, didn't we?
Yeah. We were going to do alternate color stars, but to try and get stars back in the center was almost impossible.
Okay. Do you want to start working on your triangles again?
Sure.
And I'll put some rhinestones on.
I think we need more flowers, though.
More flowers? Okay.
More flowers.
I can put more flowers on.
At least, I think one more flower maybe down here.
Okay, do you want to start on your triangles?
Sure. So then I did more stitch triangles because we have the top where we're going to have the sentiment. That's what you call it, right?
Yep.
Okay. And so basically this is going to be really important to know exactly how to get started here because
do you want it
I
on
have
the other side?
Yeah, I have the wrong side. So I'm going to kind of look at it first to know how to get started. I think that this tip goes down in this other corner. And then this guy is going to go right like that. And so, you know, what happens is this card has to be cut very precisely because you can see my triangle top is sticking off the top now.
Could we shear that off the top when we're done?
Yes, because that's what you do, right?
So are you going to make, did you say you're going to make a second one of these to send out to someone?
That will be more perfect. I'm going to keep making these cards all day long until I finally get one right. I think I'm joking.
Are you a perfectionist about everything?
No, I'm just a little OCD is all. And then this one's going to go like this, and then we got one more. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start by doing this one.
So I have a question for you. Is making a card together good or bad for marriage? What would you call that?
Marriage enrichment?
Yeah.
I think that's the way to do it. I think you should start with the card or with the triangle in the corner and then just kind of go for the rest of the triangles after that.
Okay, so Bev has a question. She says, so Steve, how long was Beth a stamper? I started stamping in 2003. I was a scrapbooker before that. Before you got brave enough to give it a try. No, you've been doing it a while because I watched you make Valentine's Day cards for her more than once. My husband did many things for me over the years, but I'm not sure I would have ever gotten him to stamp. He would help me make packets, etc. though.
Okay, so here's the thing. I try and find things to do for Beth that she is going to think are the most awesome thing that's ever been done that really aren't that big of a deal for me, right? So I just snuck into her stamping office and literally went through her scraps.
Actually, I didn't have a stamping office. I had a desk and a table.
She was very good at keeping all of her scraps because she's Norwegian and she never wants to waste anything.
Are you saying I'm cheap?
No, I'm just saying that you're very good at keeping things. And so what I would do is I would just go into her stash and I really didn't have to do anything other than find some pieces to assemble.
Well,
right?
when it was Valentine's Day, there would be Valentine pieces from other things sitting around. But Bev is right. He has been making me cards. He has never come up with a card fold or made a card on here, I don't think. Have you?
So, yeah, I just figured out I just got to go for this and not worry about whether it's perfect or not.
Right, right. And it's harder on camera, you guys. I can stamp and do everything better when no one's watching me.
Oh, and what kills me is the speed at which she can do... Oops, I just messed that up.
Oh, there's people watching who are way better than I am at making cards. Holly came in late from South Dakota. Thanks for coming back. Holly was on last night. Barb says, Steve, you are doing a great job. Such an ambitious card for your first card festival. Now, did I discuss that with you last night?
But, I think what they're saying is, that's a little bit above your pay grade. That's beyond your ability.
Bev thinks your pay grade is really, really high, though. So
No, she thinks it's low. She thinks I should get paid more. And I agree with her. Absolutely. Okay, how do I do this?
Where's that one going?
This one's going here, but I need to remember how. Oh, he goes like this.
Oh, did I leave room? My flowers almost got in the way of your design.
Okay, so now that is the flap. So that's the next surprise. When you open this guy up, you've got this with these triangles. And then, of course, she's moving to Hawaii. And that's what started this entire card, was this aloha that is in this set.
Because, okay, so I had my Bible study group over for coffee Monday morning. Actually, we were there through lunch.
It's right
too,
here.
weren't we?
Yeah.
And Steve came out on the deck to say hi, and when he saw Rachel, he's like, aloha.
And my amazing wife said that what I should do, otherwise I was never going to be able to glue this, so I should put the double-sided tape on the back before I punched it out.
Yeah.
But the key here is I have absolutely no clue in the world of how to get this double-sided tape off.
Take the pokey thing that I used for the rhinestones.
No, I'm acting helpless for a reason, honey.
Okay, so these are the adhesive sheets. You need them. I love the adhesive sheets.
So she put the adhesive on, and now she's going to demonstrate how you get the adhesive off.
You just take the pokey thing and poke. It's like a double-sided tape. So.
But this thing is so flimsy. I'm so worried that I'm going to tear it in half. Oh, look at that. You just did it.
It's like a sticker now, honey. And you can stick that aloha wherever you want.
Well, I want to stick it.
You're welcome.
Right here, but I need to make sure it's going to be relatively centered.
Are you going to put rhinestones anywhere else?
There's my aloha. So.
Oh, it's awesome.
And then for writing on the card, that's what this space right here is for, to actually write on the card and say what you want to say to your dear friend that's moving to.
Yeah. And what about our dear friends that were willing to watch this for half an hour this morning?
So
what's their card going to say?
Here's the card. Here's what it looks like when it's all done.
It fits in an envelope.
It fits in an envelope.
Look at that.
It's a little bit different because it's not completely rectangular. It's got this triangle.
No, I made my flowers stick out the side too.
No,
Sorry about that.
We'll perfect this. Again, it's. She warned me that I should actually assemble. I should cut out 3 of everything, and I should assemble one before we did this.
I usually make one so I can show it to you before we start.
Yeah, and start with, this is the card we're making today, right? That's what we would have done if I had started it, but I was too lazy. I said, no, I'm just going to wing this. I'm going to put it together while we're doing the video, because I'm lazy.
If you guys like it, can you give Steve a heart?
So then, you get your card, you pull it out, and you open this one up.
He likes surprises.
Oh, there's a flower! And then you open this one up, and you're like, oh, look at that! And look, it says aloha! And then you open this flap, and the amazing sweet words that my wife is going to write will be right there.
So Bev says, go big or go home, right, Steve? Absolutely. Now that you have experience, you should get a raise. You're more valuable to the corporation.
So with gymnasts, if they're the very first one to do a trick, they name it after them, right?
Oh wait,
and that's why this is
called the Steve.
You told me nobody's ever done this fun fold before.
You didn't tell me.
I didn't. No, I knew I wasn't going to be very good at actually making the card. My only hope for any notoriety whatsoever is if I had a unique fold.
Wait, put it up further. It's not on camera.
So there you go.
What do you think, you guys?
This is my fold.
Is this called the Steve Fun Fold? And you could make it with all different things. It wouldn't have to be with pineapples and hibiscus flowers, right?
Yeah. So that's what we should do. You should take off on this card. You could case it. And you could make a different version with other things on it.
Yeah. And so, do I need to put Velcro on here too to
yes.
keep it shut?
Yes.
I have a little piece of Velcro over here. Do you want to put that on?
I do. We got to keep it shut.
Okay, so there's double-sided.
Right, and we put it on this side first. You taught me that.
Stick one on there and then stick the other. Actually, do you want it to show up on there though? The
No,
Velcro
I don't want it to show up. But what I'll do, I have an idea. How do I get this off of here, Beth?
Just pull it off.
It doesn't want to go.
It's super sticky. Here.
Got it.
Did it.
So, if I go like right...
Oh, Mary has an idea. Oh, they're naming it. Okay, so Karen says, Steve is a wonderfold.
Wonderful.
Stevie is a wonderfold. And Bev says we could use a magnet. I have a question. When I use magnets, do they get caught in the postal system? I worry about mailing cards with magnets. Mary says it's the Steve sectional fun fold. I love it.
Okay, so I learned from Beth that you don't put it on that side. You Velcro them together, and then you stick it on that side. And then we're going to hear the...
It's kind of a satisfying sound.
Right? It got on the pineapple.
Well, that's what I was saying, that maybe we wanted to put it back there, but then it would be with the flower.
No, what I should have done is I should have put it on the bottom edge.
Oh. You know, it's the first version of the Stevie is a wonderful sectional fun fold card. Oh, you guys are troopers. Thanks for sticking with us. And are you doing this again, Steve?
I am so stressed out right now.
You know, at one point earlier, your hands were shaking, and I've never seen you be nervous.
I am glad that it's afternoon because I can take a nap now because I'm so exhausted from being nervous to make the card.
So, can I show a couple things?
Yes, please do.
So, we are not all the way on the boat yet, and I'm hoping that you want to do Okay, so I made a Whimsy and Wonder box to put cards in. Now this card, is this not beautiful? This is going to be on my blog on Friday, for Festive Friday, but it's using all the Whimsy and Wonder items from the suite, which I love. Here's the thank you voting. That was my voting card for Kylie's this month. Here's a card my dear friend and teammate Barb Kingsley made while she was at my house. She stamped on vellum down here. Super cute. And there's more. I can't show you my real cards. But buy the suite from me. If you already have it, if you spend $80 at my store, online store, you can still get the stamp camp from me. But the stamp camp purchases should put us over the edge for earning the cruise, and we would truly appreciate that. And I wouldn't be selling this if I didn't think it was a good value and you would love the stamp camp. So whether you're a demonstrator or customer, you just order using my host code right here, and you'll automatically be signed up for the stamp camp and get the card kit and all the things free, and it stays out there forever. So that is it. Sorry about the technical difficulties, and good job, honey. You did a great job.
Yeah, it's too bad I bumped the computer at the end and messed it up.
It's okay. It is okay. Everyone, have a great week. Please come back next Tuesday at 7.
Can you just show them the cards again real quick? Because they weren't seeing that when you were talking about the cards that were in here.
You didn't see the cards?
Uh-uh.
Okay. So here's the card box for the Whimsy and Wonder. And I would tie this in a beautiful bow. Okay, this one, should I show it up here? Is going to be on my blog on Friday. And isn't this pretty? Do you like this, Steve?
I really like that.
It's a fun fold. It's not a Stevie Wonder fun fold. Here's the one that was my voting card this month. They're so pretty. I think they're way prettier than, and it's not all pink and green. There's lots of colors. There's blue and other colors in the set too. But like I said, I can't show you all the cards I've made because I need to save the ones for the stamp camp. But Barb Kingsley made this. It's beautiful. It has Winka Stella on here.
It is beautiful.
She stamped on the vellum. Super pretty. So this is just a few. I have a stack over there, and 12 other demonstrators also have a stack of Whimsy and Wonder, so you are not going to want to miss it. And then Steve would be happy. If you're going on the cruise, are you going to stamp with me on the cruise?
You know what? I'm going to watch you stamp on the cruise, and that will make me happy because you'll be happy.
Okay. Well, you guys are awesome. Thanks for joining us. See you
See
next
you.
week. Bye-bye. Be blessed.